The bombing of Palau and Hollandia in early 1944 was a key aerial campaign in the Pacific War, designed to weaken Japanese defenses ahead of the U.S. military's island-hopping strategy. These attacks were part of Operation Desecrate 1, March 30 to April 1, 1944, against Palau, and the Hollandia air raids, April 21 to 22, 1944, which targeted Japanese bases in Dutch New Guinea. These airstrikes were instrumental in crippling Japanese naval and air power, clearing the way for subsequent amphibious invasions. Strategic background. By early 1944, the United States was advancing across the Pacific using the island-hopping strategy, bypassing heavily fortified Japanese strongholds while securing key positions for future offensives. Two major targets in this plan were Palau, a strategic archipelago located east of the Philippines. Palau housed a critical Japanese naval base and airfields. Its capture was essential for the planned invasion of the Philippines. Hollandia, Jayapura, today a key Japanese air and logistical base in Dutch New Guinea. Hollandia controlled operations in the Southwest Pacific and served as a launching point for Japanese reinforcements. The U.S. Fifth Fleet and U.S. Army Air Forces (USAF) launched large-scale bombing campaigns to neutralize these locations, ensuring a safer advance for ground forces. Operation Desecrate 1, the bombing of Palau, March 30 to April 1, 1944. The attack plan. The Fast Carrier Task Force (TF-58), under Admiral Mark Mitcher, spearheaded the air raids on Palau. The operation aimed to destroy Japanese aircraft and airfields, sink enemy ships anchored in the lagoons, cripple logistical infrastructure to prevent Japanese reinforcements from reaching the Philippines. Execution of the bombing raids. On March 30, 1944, waves of aircraft from U.S. carriers, including the USS Enterprise, USS Yorktown, USS Lexington, and USS Bunker Hill, struck Peleliu, Babeldabe, and other islands in the Palau chain. The attack was devastating. Over 150 Japanese aircraft were destroyed, either in aerial combat or on the ground. Several warships, including destroyers, submarines, and cargo vessels, were sunk in Palau's harbors. Key airstrips and fuel depots were obliterated. By April 1, 1944, the raids had effectively neutralized Palau as a threat. The U.S. did not immediately invade but instead left the battered Japanese garrison isolated until the Battle of Peleliu in September 1944. Hollandia air raids, April 21 to 22, 1944. Objective and planning. After the success at Palau, attention turned to Hollandia, a crucial Japanese air and supply base in New Guinea. This assault was in direct support of Operation Reckless, the planned U.S. invasion of Hollandia. The operation was led by the U.S. Fifth Air Force under General George Kenney. The Fast Carrier Task Force again providing naval air power. The attack. On April 21, 1944, nearly 400 U.S. bombers and fighter aircraft launched a devastating assault on Hollandia's airfields, port facilities, and supply depots. The results were decisive. More than 200 Japanese aircraft were destroyed on the ground, virtually eliminating Japanese air power in the region. Several ammunition depots and fuel tanks exploded, causing massive fires. Japanese defensive positions were shattered, paving the way for U.S. troops to land with minimal resistance. The next day, April 22, 1944, U.S. amphibious forces stormed Hollandia, encountering only scattered opposition. The destruction of airfields and supply chains ensured a swift victory. Aftermath and significance. Impact on the Pacific War. The bombings of Palau and Hollandia had far-reaching effects. Eliminated Japanese air and naval power. With over 350 aircraft destroyed, Japan's ability to defend its holdings in the Southwest Pacific was crippled. Secured the New Guinea campaign. The capture of Hollandia allowed U.S. forces to advance further into New Guinea, eventually leading to the fall of Biak and other key locations. Prepared for the Philippines campaign. The neutralization of Palau removed a major threat to General Douglas MacArthur's return to the Philippines in late 1944. Tactical lessons. The air raids proved that carrier-based air power could rival and surpass land-based forces in strategic operations. The success of these raids reinforced the importance of pre-invasion air strikes to weaken Japanese defenses. Fast Carrier Task Force operations, which became a key U.S. strategy throughout the remainder of the war. The isolation strategy, where heavily defended enemy bases were bombed and bypassed rather than assaulted directly. Conclusion. The bombing of Palau and Hollandia in early 1944 was a turning point in the Pacific War, paving the way for the next stage of the Allied advance. These air campaigns shattered Japanese defensive capabilities, allowing for swift U.S. victories on the ground with minimal casualties. The destruction of enemy aircraft, airfields, and supply chains weakened Japan's grip on the region, setting the stage for future offensives in the Philippines, the Marianas, and beyond. While overshadowed by larger battles like Midway and Iwo Jima, these strategic air raids demonstrated the power of precision bombing, carrier aviation, and coordinated land-sea-air operations, shaping the final phase of the Pacific conflict.